Hey, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this video today. Today, I just wanted to talk about how to get unstuck. I have received a couple of questions, people asking, if you feel that you are not living up to your highest potential, what is it that one needs to do? Okay, so I'm going to talk about that today, but first, a quick story. So, I myself have been through this. In fact, I talk from a lot of experience about this. And the first thing I'll say is that I think all of us at different stages in our lives, we're going to feel that as long as we've done the best we can at whatever level we are at, we're always going to feel that it's time to move on. It's time to do something either that creates higher impact or move into leadership or, our lifestyle, change that around and things like that. So you find that when you are working on either a goal or, a level of your life and or career, you are going to find that things are going to be changing. So why I'm mentioning that is that let's not feel like, this is the end of the world. I should be somewhere. You find that the goalpost is changing as long as you set goals, for your life. Okay, so first things first, I want to say this, that I believe wholeheartedly that our career will go hand in hand with our lifestyle. Okay. And I'll talk about some of the reasons why I believe that. But you find that the way our career is, it may affect our lifestyle and also vice versa. A lifestyle may also affect our career. Okay. But these two go hand in hand. Okay. So, again, like I've said, story time. So, like everyone else, when I started out in my career, by the way, I moved to the US almost 30 years ago. My parents were here, so that is how I came to move here. But also, I wanted to actually continue my school. I had just graduated university from where I am, and which is Uganda, by the way. And I wanted to further my studies. So anyway, I came here. But while I was prior to that, when I was younger, growing up, I did a lot of sports. I did a lot of different activities. By the way, when I say a lot, I don't mean that that I was innuended. However, I was very involved in different things and different organizations. The Girl Scouts, sports, running for my class, things like that. So I mentioned that because all these things make us who we are. Of course, when you're someone, in fact, when you're young, when you did a lot of those activities, you tend to operate from a different wavelength, so to say, or high level, because you're very involved, you want to make impact and things like that. You just want to make a difference or make change. I was also a volunteer in church and outside activities outside of church, things like that. So I mentioned that because this kind of set us up, or you can see a little bit of how someone's life might be. So it so happened, I think, because of this energy, I was chosen a lot, and it wasn't like I was putting up my hand, but in places and spaces where I was chosen a lot to be a leader, either leader from class, either leader from those organizations I was in, and or a leader even at university, sports and things like that. When I moved here, what happened is that kind of, went back. And, I won't go into the reasons why, but many of us know, especially if you're women of color, that there's sometimes some things that hold us back, that really have nothing to do with who we are or our capacity to do the job or anything like that. Is how it is. Okay. However, for some reason, I felt that there's a part of me that just wanted to bust out because I was like, I felt that I was living below what I could do, my potential. So, having said that, at the same time, I put myself through school. Luckily, I graduated. And then I got my life in corporate America. I was a software engineer slash business analyst, which I enjoyed. And by the way, I went there wanting to do that. So I did that. I loved it. At some point, I would engage with customers. It wasn't easy. It was a very, actually, it was a very steep curve learning experience. But I learned what I learned. And then at some point, it got to where actually I moved states. I moved from Massachusetts because I'd gone to UMass, University of Massachusetts. So anyway, I moved from Massachusetts, moved to Dallas, Texas. And eventually also the team that I used to work with here in Boston, not here, but in Boston, I was moved to a different team. So when I worked on the other different team, there wasn't that communication with clients directly, and I missed that. I so miss that. I love working with people. I'm a people person. I know myself, and that actually even showed me more so. So at some point, I felt that, you know what, it's that feeling inside of you that you can't remove the fire, that fire, like you feel that, you know, you want to do more in life and you can't. Okay. So that is what I want to talk about today. And anyway, at some point, eventually I moved into consulting. I'll spare you all the details, but I moved into consulting and this allowed me to work directly with clients. I was very, very happy about it. Why? Because I could see literally the difference I was making directly, the impact. And so I loved it. I loved working with clients. So with that said, what are some of the things that we need to do? You know, when you feel stuck in your life, in your career, what are some of the things we need to do? The first thing I'll say is that you need to take matters into your own hands because no one is going to do that. I'm going to talk about career first. For many of us, we work in organizations that will tell us that, you know, they'll reimburse you for your education, they'll reimburse you, help you go and do some course that may be helpful for you at the job, and that's all good, that's great. Those are perks that actually people are attracted to. The downside of this is that the reality tends to be very different. And it may be very different for, you know, particular people. It may not be the same story for everyone, but it is very different for many people I know. It was different for me. Okay. Um, in other words, like when I wanted to take a course, I mean, sometimes they sent us literally a new platform of courses and what we could do. I can give an example that one time I just wanted to take a course that was talking about pivot tables in Excel, Microsoft Excel. This course, when they showed us the platform, because it was shared company-wide, they say, hey, if you want to take a course, go to your manager and talk to them, and we can do the course. That course, I remember, cost anywhere between $40. It was between $40 and maybe the max would have been 70, or it was 69, something like that. And the reason, in fact, I wanted to take it is because I've worked with Excel files a lot and I've dabbled with pivot tables, but I wanted to really know how to do it better because I was self-teaching myself when I was doing them. So sometimes the thing worked, sometimes it didn't. So I wanted to do that. Also, they had asked me, I was chosen to lead the projects, you know, for the team. So I was leading that. And as you know, you use a lot of Microsoft Excel. We didn't have Microsoft Project, later on, even before I came, like really a good structure of leading the project. So I was helping with that. But guess what? When I went to talk to the manager, they looked at me like, okay. I was like, okay, you know, just let me know. If it's okay, I will do it. If it's not, great, you know, I won't do it. Now, mind you, like I said, I have initiative a lot, especially when you've been a consultant. You don't wait to be told, you don't wait, you just do the thing that needs to get done to get the job done. Okay, that's just how it is. So with that said, that I have taken many courses on my own dime without waiting for my employer. I learned that a long time ago. But in this case, I think because I was it can get busy. So, it's not something I'd thought about, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's here. So I might as well do it and, from work instead of having to carve out time on my own. Uh, I could do it, you know. And this wasn't, I think, a course that was really difficult, meaning to get done. So, in other words, that if I did it at work and did maybe a few sessions at a time, not necessarily like something that would take the whole day. Okay. I would achieve what I wanted to achieve just to get a bit better with that. Anyway, so the long story is, the short story, excuse me, of that is that um, there was no approval. It didn't happen. And I went back and continued my life. And it's not the first time. I was like, okay, because I thought it would be different. I was like, okay, I will definitely do it myself. But anyway, what I want to emphasize, therefore, is that when you are someone and you feel stuck, or sometimes you may not feel stuck, but you want to move at a different level of your career, the first thing is that you need to take matters into your own hands. How? Do not wait for the promotion. In fact, if you do it prior, probably before the promotion, it may cause you to get the promotion. Okay. Now, if you're in an organization that really they put their mouth where their words are, in other words, they will support you to reimburse, absolutely go ahead and ask for that reimbursement, because you have to show usually how that will help you with your job. Do that. And most probably that would be helpful. But for the majority of the people, that's not the case. And those are the ones I'm talking to for this point. So don't wait for the promotion. Don't wait to be told or given a yes, you can do this. Don't wait to be given the training or the course or the mentoring or the class reimbursement, whichever class you want to do. Okay, you have to take matters into your own hands. All right. So the second point is that and strive for where you want to go. But I'll get to that and the steps that you can do later. Okay, as I go forward. The second point is that for many of us, we may have also many ideas of what we want to do, and it can get confusing. That really can actually keep someone stuck. All right. So, what I'll suggest to you, if you feel that you have many things you want to do, or be, or become, or live, in other words, your lifestyle, um, in however, in this case, your career, know that everything is validated. You're probably someone who is interested in different things. We don't have to all be interested in only one thing. We can also be interested in different things, okay? Meaning that you may like dancing, you may like writing, content writer, you may like digital marketing, you may like project management, in addition to other things, okay? You may want to get into a new industry, things like that. That's all validated. However, the thing about it is, when you have many interests, you have to choose one at least to start with, because otherwise you're going to get stuck in analysis paralysis, because you're like, okay, if I do this, will it help me to get here? And if I do this, will it help me to get there? Okay. And then what are the pros and cons? And then, so you get into this analysis. The best thing is always take that first step and also look at what those things are. One, determine which maybe brings more fire to your belly. Okay, like when you talk about it, when you think about it, what creates more excitement for you? And go with that. Additionally, with what creates more excitement, find out also what is maybe most easy to implement, because you want to start small. And when you start something and maybe accomplish something, you're going to find that you build on that and build on that. Okay, so start with those tips and take action. The main thing is to take action. Start from there, keep going. And trust me, I've been there. I know. But the most thing that has helped me, that I do know for sure, is if you keep going, if you take action and keep going, the thing will reveal itself to you. Sometimes we may go when we're not sure what is it we want to do, but just keep going, choose that one thing, keep going, and eventually it will come to you. Okay. Number 3, also, the thing is that you have to be serious. Once you know that at least you've chosen what you want to do, you have to then set your goals. the main thing is at least to give some timelines like, hey, I want to do this by this time. Now, when I say want to do this, you have to set a goal when you can start the thing that you want to do. So how can we go about this step, by the way? The first thing is you're going to want to identify and write down the different steps that you may need to take for that particular one goal that you've set for yourself. Okay. And then do some research to find out what it would need or it would entail to do the thing that you want to do. What are the steps? What do you have to do? Who do you have to contact? What do you have to pay if you need to pay? Those kinds of things. Okay. And then for each step, because if you break them down, it will be easier. For each step, just write down when you want to start that particular step, and then also when you want to truthfully and fairly complete it. Don't, there are two ways you can go about this. If you want to accelerate it, you can really give yourself tight deadlines. However, the downside sometimes is that if you give yourself very tight deadlines, you may find that you don't accomplish those goals. And then you get discouraged, disappointed, and say, I'm not good, or I'm not good at this or something. And yet sometimes it's needing really more time. Some things take longer, and we have to know that. I know that that has happened, especially coming from the world of consulting. I've been used to that. You have to get things going, like hit the ground running, get results, get results. It's been very humbling at times for me, especially since I went into entrepreneurship, or doing work on my own. Even though before consulting, I was actually self-employed for the most part, not all the contracts, but most of the contracts I was self-employed, and I subcontracted with a consulting company. Um, but the point is that you get used to hitting your goals, that you have to go because um, you are judged by the the output you give. So you better give your output. You're literally working yourself out of your job, which is okay because you have to get the next one. But the point is that you have to create those goals and those timelines when you can get it done. And then you know that at least you can take action. And this will help you to be serious. Okay. The fourth one, which is a bonus, is that one of the things I want to tell you is that things are not always going to go 100% as you'd like them to go. Okay. Even sometimes when you may have when you may have what is the information you needed, you did the research and things like that. Sometimes things will fall apart. Sometimes they may not fall apart, but they just won't go as you wanted. Sometimes they're going to go longer. Okay, that maybe you may have needed to apply for something and the application takes longer. All right. Sometimes you may have needed to train for something, and maybe you find out you may not either have the money, so it will take you longer to put the money together. Or if it's not that maybe some timeline changed or something came into your life and you didn't start when you wanted. Okay. Just be ready for that because you don't get discouraged, because this is part of life, almost every every life. And I like to say life is like a project, because you're always, at least if you're striving, someone wanting to better yourself, you're trying new things. It's about experimentation. You're doing something, you don't know what the outcome will be because you've never done it. And also, if you've done it, sometimes things change. Okay. So that's how it is. So just make sure that you know that, and that you are aware and you're ready for that, so that when it comes, you're not surprised. You can cry sometimes if you need to, but give yourself grace and know that nothing ever goes 100% smoothly. It's just how life is. Okay. All right. So we've talked about the career. The lifestyle part of it, that I believe, is that the lifestyle will be determined by where we are in our lives. Okay. So meaning that if you and your family, for example, maybe you want a career right now, you've been traveling a lot, maybe you have a long commute or something like that, and now you want a job, or a career or a business, you want to do it whereby you don't have to travel far. Okay. Maybe you go remote, you start working from home. Okay. In other cases, it may be someone has reached where that they want to now transition into probably travel with work. So you become like a nomad. They call them the digital nomads or the laptop people, things like that. I've seen where people are single, they go, where also families travel together. All those scenarios are different. So each part of, where we are in our career or how we want that to be, we also many times may affect our lifestyle. Okay. You may be that maybe you're wanting to move into business, to start working for yourself or something like that, freelancing. And that when you're starting out, we're all aware that sometimes when starting out, the money may not come in as much as you'd like. So you cut back on some things of lifestyle. Maybe you don't go out as much, or maybe you go out, but you're going to where there are things that are free to enjoy. You're going and enjoying the park, you're going and enjoying the beach and things like that. So there's different lifestyles, okay? But the main thing is that you see where your lifestyle aligns with the career or where you want to be in your life. All right. The second thing about the lifestyle is that you know, you can choose which is more important for you, okay, and work around that or design your life around that. So if it's your career, maybe now your career makes you travel. Is that what you want? It could be that maybe it's someone who is single. They want a career that allows them to travel, to enjoy and see other parts of the world. Hey, why not? You go for that. So that means that your lifestyle is going to be more really where you're on the road or you're just in different parts of the world or different parts of the country or in different parts of the state, things like that. Okay. And then if it's lifestyle, and in this case, your first thing you say, you know what, I want to experience the world, which I've talked about. I want to do work that allows me to work from anywhere. So most likely this would be something digital. It won't be something necessarily that you have to be there in person. Okay. So then you design your life and get a career or either a job or your business or anything like that that allows you to do those things. All right. So the other thing would be like maybe even someone wanting to get into the healthcare project management or project management in particular, where your lifestyle centers around that. Okay. You want to know which industry are you going to work in. You want to know where you currently, or are you going to currently be working in the industry you're in? In other words, that do you know about where you want to transition into? Okay. If you do, okay, maybe you don't have to train so much on the industry, but it would be the project management aspect of it. If it's a new industry like healthcare, you're coming from a different industry. Let's say you're coming from banking, and you're getting into healthcare. Most probably you want to get probably into an area where you're going to manage, let's say, the billing, the finance part of healthcare. That gives you a better chance to get in. Now, you still will need to learn about what the billing side or the financial side of healthcare is, okay, and the healthcare industry. So then you design like, hey, what do I need to do? That means you're going to, first of all, the first parts of probably your career, or if it's something that you are going to do on your own, meaning you're going to take it up and learn by yourself without reimbursement for your company. Probably it won't, especially if you're going to a different industry, that you're going to take some time and have to be probably some extra work, some heads down. Like, for example, if it's before work or after work, however that may be for you, that you choose to do the work that needs to get done. Okay. And then you plan accordingly. All right. So that is, that is how another way that you choose what is more important for you and you design your life around it. Do you want the lifestyle first? You design the career, or do you want the career first, design the lifestyle around that? Either of them is okay, but the main thing is that they have to work interchangeably. Otherwise, what happens if they don't, one or the other is going to suffer. Okay. So, for example, when I say suffer, is that if your career is something that is making you travel quite a bit. Initially, it may be okay, but probably afterwards, it might be a problem for you and your family, if you have a family. Okay, if you're single, probably it's okay. But also, when you're single, your friends could be your friends. You may lose your friends. Okay, you may lose your friends if they're not seeing you. You know, they move on and start doing things with other people. And maybe when you come back and you're available, they've already made plans. So all of those are things that one has to look into. And then the third part of the lifestyle is implementation. You know, you identify what you want to happen for you. Okay, take those small steps I talked about earlier, and then make it a reality. Again, remembering that some of these things are not going to change overnight. They will take some time. It may take planning, which usually it might. It may take you moving somewhere, which it might be for what you want. It may take that you need maybe more time for a few months to focus on where it is that you want to be. If you're doing a course, if you're doing mentorship, if you're doing those kinds of activities, okay, to get you to where you want to be. And then also you find that in this area, when you're in this stage of implementation, many times you may have to change things around, which is AKA pivoting. Okay, you may need to pivot at times, what it is that you're enjoying or what it is that you're doing or how you're doing what it is that you're doing. Okay, so be open to that. And that, and then you'll be able to achieve your goals. So therefore, the bottom line is that when you are feeling stuck, the main thing is you having to take things into your own hands. Okay, so happy transformation, my friends. Know that you are created to make great impact in this world. You're created to help others where you can, but first you have to help yourself. And also, don't forget that you have a lot to offer the world, including, whatever it is that you have that burning feeling in your heart. I know because I've been there. So I really wish you the best. One thing I'll say is that I help professionals that feel that they need more to offer in the world. I help create a path for you of how to elevate your career and then in turn transform your life. Okay. So I'm looking for anyone who, that's you, if you want to get into the project management or healthcare project management area, come talk to me. I help people with that. I'll give you the path, I'll give you the blueprint, and then we'll go from there. And how actually I help you is one, we can do a one-to-one. I give you some tips of how to do that. But then also the implementation part of it is whereby it's through a course that I'll take with you. So initially we'll have a live cohort where I'll be training you, answer questions in person and that kind of thing. But eventually then also I help by providing either some quizzes or some actually project that you can work on hand with a hands-on practice to do the project. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to put in the comments. I will answer your questions. And I thank you so much for watching. I hope that this is helpful. And bye-bye. Thank you so much. Until next time, thank you.